What's up?
Hey, it's me, Coach Tomeka James, and we are here with another episode of Entrepreneurs Speak. Today, I have CEO Mo in the building. All
Hey,
right,
hey.
I'm so excited to have you here today. So, I have a question for you. Are we using your government name here, or are we just going with your IG name?
Honestly, we could do either or. It's funny because most people really know me by Mo. Most people. It's funny how a lot of people don't know me by my real name, which is really funny. But yes, we could do either or.
All right, let's go ahead and tell them your real name, and then we're going to let them know how to get in touch with you as well.
Okay. So my real name is Mamadou Kebe. So really, as you can tell, it's a foreign name. I'm from West Africa.
Oh.
Was born in Senegal,
Mm-hmm.
but grew up in Michigan. And my Instagram handle, which is really what I use most of the time, it is CEO Mo underscore no chill.
All
And
right.
that's how you can find me on Instagram.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to make sure that is on the screen so they can make sure they follow you and stay connected. So, what I like to do when I get started with my interviews is to get my guests to tell the audience a little about yourself. Like, what are the few things that you really want people to know about who you are and what you do before I jump in?
Okay, cool. Well, I guess I should start with saying that I do quite a few different things, but my main thing is rental cars. It all started out with Turo. And I want to say the average person, when it comes to rental cars, that's where you really want to start with because, you're putting your vehicle on the platform and then you don't even have to go get the customers. They'll find the customers for you and you pretty much just going to sit back and get paid as long as you can deliver your vehicles on time and maintain good customer service. So that's how I started. And now I'm also doing a little bit of private booking, which is just dealing with the clients privately rather than just waiting for Toro to find me my own customers. So yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, I love it. We are going to get into that private thing because a lot of people know about Toro, but they're not really well versed when it comes down to being able to put your own car out there, rent it out yourself. So I'm going to ask you to give us a few tips on that tonight because I know the people want to know. They want to know where the real money is. And I remember having a conversation with you, and you were telling me where the real money actually was. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am, absolutely.
So let's get started with you are in the rental car game, but where did this start? Like, okay, tell me what happened. Like, how did you find out about this thing? Like, what was the revelation? And yeah, and then like you had a job before?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so let's really go from where it really all started. Okay, first of all, I've been working on cars since I was 16 years old. By the way, I'm 33. I just turned 33 on October 11th, so a few days ago.
Woo woo! Happy late birthday!
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yes, I've been working on cars since I was 16 years old, and that's when I kind of figured that I wanted to be quote unquote mechanic. And again, being from Michigan, really the average person really you want to go to school and work in the car industry because that's what we do here in Michigan. We're a motor city, so we make we got Ford and GM and all of that. This is where we make the vehicles at. So the average person wants to just go work at Ford or Chrysler or GM. That's like the ideal job if you're from Michigan, to be honest. So I've always worked on cars, and then but I also always had this whole entrepreneurship mindset as well because I never really always focused on my main job. I've always sold cars on the side. I mean, I went from selling cell phones, selling tires, while
Oh
still keeping a
goodness!
job. You know what I mean? So yes, I've always done stuff like that. But um, a few months ago, actually, to be exact, last October of 2020 is when I had decided that I wanted to basically try to get away from my job and just work for myself. But before I quit, I used to work as a service advisor. Okay. So working at that dealership, I was there for 8 years. I started from being a mechanic, worked my way up to from being the car mechanic to just being a service advisor. So I kind of worked my way up from touching the cars to not touching the cars at all. So now
Mm-hmm.
I was just there with customers, which was kind of a nightmare. That job was, it pays really good, but oh my God, it's a terrible job. At the
What
same
part
time.
was the nightmare? Was it the being a mechanic or being the service advisor?
Yes. Hey, it seems like the voice has gotten really weird. Can you hear me correctly?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
I can barely hear you. It sounds like it's breaking up. Like you sound like a robot.
I don't know, but I hear you, and it's coming over well on this side.
Okay, looks like we're good then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep, there we go. Now I cleared up. I don't know what just happened, but either way, I was a service advisor. And being a service advisor, just in case anybody don't know what it is, I was the person that when you come into the dealership and you have an issue, I'm the guy that you are going to talk to and tell me what's wrong with your vehicle. I'll type it up in the computer and be able to deal with the technician. So I'll be the middle guy that's going to be reporting back to you and let you know what's going on with your vehicle and basically sell to you what repairs may need to be done. So you can only imagine a job like that. You're dealing with kind of angry customers all the time because
people waiting for their cars too long. I remember you and your job, not you personally, but I remember the service advisors when I took my car. Mm-hmm.
There we go. There we go. It's a super stressful job. So I was doing that and I was making really good money, but it was super stressful. As in, like, every time I get off work, I literally would go home talking about what happened at work because every single day is something new. So that was really stressing me out. And at the time I was married to. So me and my ex-wife, she used to always tell me that I should just work for myself because she's seen what I was able to do, out of work, which means I used to buy and sell cars. I still do, but not as much as I used to. And I could literally buy any car and sell it. So first, let me go back a little bit. I've owned a little over 200 cars.
Goodness gracious, wait a minute. Did you say 20 or 200?
200. I'm sure it's well over that, but let's just say 200 because, like I said, I always like to buy cars and sell it. I'm also the type of person that I get tired of cars really fast. So I'll have a car and just in a year, cars that I actually keep to myself, in a year I'll have easily 10 to 15 cars. Now, if I add the cars that I'm selling, it's well over that. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm able to say that I've owned over 200 cars. So people around me have always seen me being the guy that would be the hustler, just buying cars and selling. In fact, when I used to work at the dealership, I used to sell more cars than the used car lot.
No way.
Yes. And it was really funny because my managers and the service managers, they used to always be like, oh man, I can't wait for you to start your own dealership because I know you will eventually because we see how many cars you sell. Like you're pushing more cars than the actual dealership is. I'm like, yeah, I know. But so after doing all that for years, October of 2020, October 11th, which is my birthday, me and my ex-wife went to Texas. We went to Texas for my birthday, and we got to meet up with one of my friends that is an entrepreneur as well. And it's funny because he's one of those people, I helped him quit his job. Mm-hmm. I'm a car guy, so I love sports cars. I love taking cars and modifying them and just, do a little street racing. That's what I used to do. So in the car community out here, a lot of people know me. So he was one of the guys that worked on one of my cars. And when he did, I kind of put his name out there. I did. So when I put his name out there, he just blew up. I mean, I'm talking about in a matter of months. This dude blew up and he was able to quit his job that he worked. He was there for like 8 years. And it's funny because after he quit his job, I want to say a few months later is when he kind of came and just told me like, man, you were my first customer, right? I was like, what? He's like, yeah. So after you started giving me shout outs, that's when things just blew up. I was like, that's what's up. So anyhow, me and him became really good friends. So last year on my birthday, when I went to meet up with him, me and my ex-wife were talking to him and, we were super excited to talk to him because I'm like, he's the only entrepreneur that I really know. Somebody that actually walked away from their job and they're working for themselves and he's doing really well. Mm-hmm. So I used to look up to him. So when we were talking to him, it was kind of like, it was almost like a job interview type thing. Cause it's like, I was pitching to him, that I really need to walk away from my job. It's like I was trying to get some type of confirmation from him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So after the conversation, it was just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do this. So on my way back home from, because we were in Dallas, but he was in Houston. So from Dallas to Houston is a 4-hour road trip. Mm-hmm. So on the drive back to Houston, to Dallas, that's when me and my ex-wife were talking. And I was just like, you know what? I think I want to do this. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I think I'm going to just quit. She's like, you gonna quit your job? I was like, yeah, because you know what? I was like, I'm not gonna actually quit. What I'm gonna do is, since I used to work 5 to 6 days a week, what I'm gonna do is, as soon as I get back, I'll tell my boss that I'm gonna demote myself. She goes, what do you mean? I'm like, well, what I mean is, I'm not gonna really quit my job, but I know what I'm planning on doing, which is working part-time as a service advisor. You cannot work part-time.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, but I knew after working there for so long, they would probably try to work around what I'm planning on doing. But I was like, I just didn't want them to feel like they're gonna do me favors or anything like that. Like, so let's just cut straight to the point. I went back to work. I told my boss, I'm like, listen, starting next month, I'm gonna only work 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He goes, what? I'm like, yes. So with that being said, 3 days a week, you guys got me, and I know I can't be an advisor doing that. So I'm going to go back in the shop. That way I can have some shop time. But it was all like strategic, you know what I mean? Because I was like, okay, I'm going to work 3 days a week. Yes, I'm going to make way less money because at the shop, I'm only working 3 days and I'm going to be getting paid hourly. So I'm like really demoting myself. One from making some month, because as an advisor, you get paid commission. So I was making up anywhere from 5 to 7K a month. I took a pay cut down to $1,200 a month.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Geez.
So, but I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. So those 3 days a week, you guys got me, but I'm still going to be buying and selling cars because that's what I'm good at anyways. I'm really good at doing that. So those 3 days I'm working there, I have shop time, which means when I buy vehicles, I have time to take them in the shop and do what I got to do with them, do a quick turnaround to sell them. But then the 4 days of the week, that's when I'm going to try to find cars to buy and sell, or just try to figure out my life, period. Because at this point, it was like, I'm trying to quit, but I don't really have a plan. He's just like, I need to quit though, you know.
It sounds like you did have some type of a plan though, even though it didn't feel like a full plan.
Like, it's like, okay, yeah, the cars. Like, I'm like, I know cars, so I know I'm not going to go broke. Right. No matter what, I will be able to find a car to buy and sell and flip real quick. You know what I mean? But deep inside, it's not something that I really love doing, to be honest. It's just one of those things, I'm good at it.
Okay.
But I don't really love it, you know? So I did that. So while doing it, now I'm just trying to also find my way, trying to figure out, you know, what to do. So again, this is in October. So November 1st is when I changed my hours. So now I'm back working part-time and I'm back in the shop, and so on and so on and so on. End of November is when my ex-wife decided that she wanted to leave. So basically a few weeks after me deciding to walk away from my job is when she decided to leave.
Wow. So, wait. So you're telling me that you have this one life change that you're planning for, and then a whole new life change just interjects into the picture.
Absolutely. Yes. It was crazy. It was really crazy because it was just like just something just boom fell on me, and it's like, what am I supposed to do now? So, all right, now I got this big thing happening in my life. I really need to adjust to everything because I was married for 8 years. We're together for a total of 10 years. So When that happened, it was like you could only imagine. So I didn't really know what to do with myself, but I just knew at the end of the day, I'm trying to do something with my life, and I have to. And I'm like, I'm not going back to the job. I'm still working at the dealership for 3 days a week, and no one really knows what's going on with my life because I'm a private person. Yeah. So while I was going through all that, nobody had no idea. I was still showing up to work, doing what I have to do, and just going home, but nobody had an idea that I was going through whatever I was going through. So mid-December is the first time I actually purchased a course, which was the Mobile Home Elite. I purchased their course. And I don't know if you ever bought their course or heard of them. That's a really long course. I mean, long. You know what I mean? I went through that course in 3 days. Busted that sucker out 3 days. Okay. Because, I was just so focused. And it was just like, you know, when the whole divorce hit me, I felt like I had nothing to lose at this point. Because I kind of, you know, at the time, I felt like I lost the most important person in my life. And then, so now it's like, you know, I got to do what I got to do at this point. So whatever it is that I'm going to get into, it's going to work, period, because I have nothing to lose. So I'm going to put my 1,000% in this. And again, for any entrepreneurs that's watching this, and if you happen to go through the same thing that I go to, biggest piece of advice I could tell you is when you go through something like that, don't listen to anybody, just listen to yourself. It's going to be hard. It sucks, but life goes on. And, you know, when something happens in your life, it's no accident. Just remember that.
Yeah,
And
thanks for saying that.
absolutely, it's no accident. We all be heard about certain things that we may lose or whatnot, but at the end of the day, it just everything happens for a reason. So if it happens, you just got to get with the program. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to grieve. But you just can't stay there too long. You got to get up and move on.
Well, thanks for
So
sharing that again. And we shared that kind of that same thing, not your exact story, but when I got to the point of divorce as well, I was really grateful that I did love my work. And I just did more work. And not that I was just throwing myself into it, but I had something that I could lean on and put my energy into and not really like sink into serious depression. Even though there was some depression, I don't know how you felt, but a lot of people don't like to admit to that. But depression is real, and it really is present, even if you can show up looking like not what you've been through. So yeah,
absolutely,
yep.
absolutely, and that was the biggest thing for me too. I don't know, maybe I'm different, but I'm one of those people. I feel like I did go through depression for a little bit, mind you, while everything was happening. I mean, I'm barely talking to anybody. I was just focused. Yeah. I was just focused. So I wasn't talking about what's going on. I was just sitting there, just doing my thing. Some people, I disappeared on a lot of people. You know what I mean? I've had my days, but at the end of the day, my biggest thing was nobody's about to sit here and look at me and say, "Oh my God, she left and he's all messed up."
Right.
No.
No.
I can keep that inside, but outside, y'all gonna see I'm doing good.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. So I just kind of focused on myself and just kept on getting education. So again, this is in December. I bought the first course. I went through it while still working at the dealership the 3 days a week. So what I ended up doing was I'm working at the dealership 3 days a week. The 4 days a week at that time, being in Michigan around December and stuff, our winters are brutal. So it snows a lot. Finding cars, you can still find them, but in the wintertime, it's a bit, it's a slower time. So finding cars won't be the greatest. But again, I know myself, I'm not afraid to work. So I started doing Grubhub at the same time. So now I'm delivering food and just going through these courses and just listening to inspirational videos, motivational videos. That's what I was doing every single day.
Okay.
While still trying to find my way, because again, I still didn't know what exactly I am going to do. Mm-hmm. So after going through the mobile home stuff, then I realized it's not really my thing.
Okay.
So I kept on digging, trying to figure out what it is that I'm going to do. In the meantime, still, of course, I got bills, you know what I mean? So I'm still doing Grubhub, just trying to find my way. Then my older brother, God bless his heart. Seriously, I want to say he's really the reason why I became what I am right now. He definitely has a lot to do with it.
Because, shout out to brother.
Yes, he really, and he's crazy too, because he's all the way in Paris. Huh? He lives in Paris, literally. So he's all the way in Paris, and he always keeps tabs on me and stuff like that. It's because he's seen what I was able to do over the years. So he's always seen more of what I can do than what I actually saw on myself. You know what I mean? So even my ex-wife, to be honest, she used to always say, "You can do great things." It's like everybody around me seen what I was capable of doing, but I didn't really see it. You know what I mean? Like, I seen it, but I didn't really believe it. How about that? That's the actual word for it. I didn't believe it, Mm-hmm. So when I told him I quit my job, I'm just, I'm working less time, so on and so on, trying to figure it out. That's when he started hitting me up with him 500, So that's really when everything.
Wait, he's in Paris. How does he find him 500? Of course, online, but.
So the story with him is he used to live in the United States, right? He lived here for many years, and then he moved to Paris. Okay. When he moved to Paris, it was kind of one of those, like, he wanted to come back or whatnot. But either way, he always kept tabs on what's going on in the U.S. And he always felt like I would be a great entrepreneur because he always felt like I had it in me anyways. And again, I don't even know how he found him for 100 and stuff. Like, I really don't know. So I just remember I'm sitting at home, and he's just sending me messages through IG. He was like, "Hey, you should check him out." Sometimes I look at him. Most of the time I didn't. Not gonna lie. Most of the time I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing? I'm not really interested." You know what I mean? So he's sending me this stuff over and over again. Then that one time, which I'm glad I did, I looked at the video. I'm like, this seems really interesting. Okay. And I kept watching. And of course, then you're starting to get interested and you start digging more and more and more. Mm-hmm. So now I went to him 500 Instagram. I started watching all his stuff. I'm like, oof, okay, this is crazy. You know what I mean? This is crazy. Again, I wasn't a believer of buying courses. I never believed in stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's so sad too, because the courses that you buy will give you way more information than school ever does.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
Because most of us, we are quick to go pay school a lot of money to trust a teacher that's going to teach us something that they've never done.
Ooh, that's
You know.
powerful. That's powerful and real. And they say
You
some
know?
teachers are teaching things that they failed at.
There we go. There we
Yeah.
go. See, the teacher is just teaching you something that he's never done before, and you still gonna trust them and pay them all this money that's gonna put you
Right.
in debt, just so you can go be somebody's employee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wait,
so
now
I
let
was
me ask you a question. So when it
Yes.
came to him 500, I know about him and I know what his course is about. The original part of the course. There's other things, but what attracted you to his course, especially for the fact that there are several reasons to get into his course? Where was your attraction?
My attraction was the fact that about credit, because I never knew anything about credit. I just knew I had bad credit. That's
Okay.
it. I never understood how credit worked. I didn't know anything about it. You know what I mean?
So it was my credit is not good. I'm gonna hang around and learn something about my credit, or I want to fix other people's. Which one was it?
I don't want to fix people's credit. That's
Okay.
one thing. Credit repair is too tedious for me. I understand it. I know how to do it, but I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? It's just a little too tedious for me. But for me, it was more so, let me get this knowledge and everything, like, because I read what he offered. And when I read it, everything just sounded really good. But the number one thing was, I'm going to understand how to fix my credit. And he's going to teach me how to leverage my credit, which is super important. So it was just like, it was a no-brainer for me. But again, the price tag was still like, whew, I've never spent this kind of money on anyone. You know what I mean? It was more so, I'll spend that kind of money on cars. Because like I said, I'm a car guy. So I'm the type of person that'll take $4,000 and buy some type of modification for my own car. That's something that I've done multiple times. So it wasn't no big deal. But just buying a course, it was like, ooh,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. This better be good. But anyhow, I bought into Recession Proof January 5th, to be exact. And that was the best decision I've ever done.
Wow.
You know, because after I purchased the course, I started going through the stuff, started learning the stuff. Everything was just kind of making sense. Then take it one step further. A month later, my brother again comes up out of nowhere. He finds out about Pushman Mitch. And that's how I got into the course. So for anybody that don't know about Pushman Mitch, he's like one of the biggest rental car guys when it comes to renting cars, and he's huge in Atlanta and a few other states. But yeah.
And I didn't know he was that tall.
Me neither, until I met him.
Oh my gosh, I met him in person. I was like, wait a minute. Because every time he would be on video, he'd just be sitting there. And I was like, you gotta be, when I saw him in person, I was like, no way that you're over 6 feet tall. Dude. Oh my gosh. Well, all right. So he's tall. You met him. You learned about him. Now, I'm surprised that you didn't get any of this in him 500's course, because was it later on down the line that he started in like bringing that in?
That was later. That was
okay.
later. Yeah, because again, this is all in the beginning of this year, beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry, 2021. Okay. So February is end of January is when I found out about Mitch, but I bought his course like I want to say mid-February. Okay, bought his course and then went through it real fast and bought my first car 2 weeks later. When I bought the first car 2 weeks later, just to see what this is all about, because it was like, okay, this sounds really good, and I'm like, it would make sense. I'm a car guy, so doing rental cars, it would just this will be a plug and play for me. Yeah. You know, it's gonna be awesome. So I bought the first vehicle. I posted it on a platform called HireCar. HireCar is a website that you post your vehicle, and HireCar targets people that are trying to use your vehicle for work, whether it is use it for Grubhub, Uber, Lyft, any of that stuff.
Okay.
People will go in there, rent your vehicle, and just keep it for a while. Mitch was preaching getting economy vehicles, which is just like Toyota Camrys, Honda Accords, just those smaller vehicles. He always preached to start with something like that, which I do as well. And I bought a 2013 Nissan Altima. I put it on HireCar. An hour later, somebody booked it. I was like,
yes.
Yeah, literally an hour later, I was like, oof, this is crazy. Okay, all right. Then the guy picks it up, keeps it for 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. All right, I see this. But again, I'm one of those people, when I see something works, I'm going all the way in at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as the car got booked an hour later, I was shopping for the other car. At that point, I was like, oh, I'm sold. This is it. This makes sense because I'm seeing if it's working. So bought the first vehicle. It was gone for 2 weeks, and then came back, stayed with me for 2 days. Somebody else booked it. It was gone for another 3 weeks. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I really need to have another car. So I want to say about a month later is when I bought my second vehicle, and then another 3 weeks later, I bought my third vehicle, and it's been history since then. Just been adding and adding and adding. And yep, that's
So
how
wow. Okay, so you don't have the job
really.
at
Oh,
all
yeah.
at this point. So you
Yeah.
finally completely left.
Mm-hmm. So in March is when I quit.
Okay.
March is when I finally walked away. And when I was walking away too, I only had 2 cars on the road at the time. Only had 2 cars, and they were very consistent going. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, I know myself. Again, I'm not afraid to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
So while my cars were working, on days that I'm not going to look for other cars, I'm out here delivering food. I was doing Grubhub and everything. So I didn't care. I was just like,
How
I got to
much?
make sure I pay the bills.
How much do you remember those 2 cars generating?
Okay, they were bringing roughly about 220 to 240 a week. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So that's eight. About nine, a little over 900.
Uh-huh. One of them was bringing 840 a month. The other one was bringing 920 a month.
Wow.
And mind you, I bought these cars $3,500, and the other one I paid $3,900 for it.
Okay. So you got the side thing driving, so that's enough income to do whatever. These
Mm-hmm.
cars are generating the rest of the income. So that's what actually showed you just get out of that job. Just
Yeah,
leave.
absolutely. I saw
Okay.
what he was doing, and my biggest thing was I'm like, okay, if I stay at this job, I got to keep asking for a lunch break so I can go meet up with my customers.
Yeah.
And I have to keep, what I'm saying, sometimes I may miss out on an opportunity because of the job. I thought about all of it. I'm like, you know what? It makes sense for me to come out of office right now and just leave. Because if I do leave and I start doing Grubhub or whatever full time, that I can stop whenever I need to go meet up with my customers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't have to ask for anyone permission to do that. So that was just like, you know what? I need to go because I'm making more money doing that anyways. So I was just like, yeah, let me go ahead and do that.
But you know what? That's what I love about entrepreneurship. There is no one to answer to but me. No one. And I really enjoy that. So I know that that was like a freeing feeling to you that you could just go do what you had to do. And like you said, not have to ask someone for permission. Like, so people who are listening, who are interested in becoming an entrepreneur, I hope that you guys are able to hear that this is something that you don't have to go through anymore. You don't have to ask for permission. So, whew. All right. So now, let's stop getting so mushy here. So we are at 2 cars at like the 1 month mark or so. Then you get to, when do you get to like 4 cars? How long after that?
Okay. So I got to my third vehicle right before April.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the beginning of April, because I went to my first conference ever when I went to Miami with Recession Proof. I was super excited about that. Right before I went, that's when I bought my third vehicle, which was a 2014 Kia Optima Hybrid, which is one of my top best earners out there.
Okay.
That thing just, people love it. So I bought that vehicle, and while getting all the paperwork ready and stuff like that, that's when it was around the time where we were going to Miami for the Recession Proof conference. So I waited till I came back home to actually have it go live on Turo. It was already listed, but I had snoozed it until I came back so I can have it go live to see how it does.
Okay.
As soon as I came back, I put that car on live. Like I just kind of hit live. When I tell you that car was booked, pretty much it's still booked all the way till end of November.
Yikes.
Still.
Oh, wow. So this is like you're just hitting buttons and making magic happen. My
Pretty
goodness.
much.
Wow.
Yep.
So
So
I think
after
I
that,
met you around the time when you had like 4 cars or so.
yeah, yeah. You met me, yeah. At the time, I had 4 vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, a little bit after April, I want to say that's when I guess when I came back. Yeah, when I came back, that's when I bought the 4th vehicle. Because at this point, I'm seeing the money they're bringing in, and the way I was doing it was, I wasn't spending the money that was coming in. That's foolish. I was taking the same exact money, buying back cars.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people get into this rental car game in multiple different ways. You can use your credit to go get the vehicles, but for me, I had a decent amount of cash laying around, but it was all because I'm a car guy, so I used to have some expensive sports cars. So when I decided to go into this, I just basically sacrificed all my cars, got rid of all, took that money, and then started buying cash vehicles with that money.
So
And
wait,
then
okay. Why'd you get rid of the sports vehicles instead of putting those on the platform? Was it what? Tell me. I mean, you got cars that you're selling. So tell us why get rid. You're in the car game. Why'd you get rid of a car to get another car to put the car in a platform? Please help.
okay, now first of all, that sports cars I used to have, they're manual transmission vehicles. That's number one. Which is they're not automatics, they're manual transmission. That's number one. Number two, those cars are worth about 20 grand. So let's say even if it was an automatic and I decided to post it on the on Turo or whatever, that's one car that's going to generate one income. But if I take that 20 grand, I can get $4,000 or $5,000 cars, and I have 4 different payments.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for clarifying because I'm sure the listeners are like wondering the same thing I'm thinking. Like, why? Because I'm thinking that the sports car is going to generate some really good income, but you just told us exactly why. Okay. What a strategy. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely, because you got to make it make sense. Because just like how I get a lot of people that still message me, my DMs be blowing up. People always asking me questions, and it's always really the same question. A lot of people try to get into this rental car game, in my opinion, for the wrong reasons. And the wrong reasons are you're trying to buy a car for yourself. You're not buying the car to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Let me repeat that. A lot of people buy these cars for themselves. Because, let's say, for example, I come into this game. I'm watching Pushman mention all these influencers that are telling you how they're driving their dream cars for free. They didn't just start driving their dream cars for free. They worked their way up to get there. Now, a lot of people hear that and they're like, oh my God. So you mean to tell me I can just go get my dream car and drive for free? Yes and no. Yes, meaning, yes, the vehicle might get booked here and there, but what happens when it slows down, which it will slow down. Not every day you're going to find somebody that's going to want to rent your Mercedes-Benz or whatever it is that your dream car may be. But if you get these economy vehicles, you start with that. The average person is who your customers are going to be, which are the people that are flying in town that just needs a car to get around, or just your neighbor that may have a car that's sitting in the shop. Mm-hmm. So those are the people that you want to cater to. That's where the real money's at, and that's going to be very consistent. Rather than a vehicle that may be a $200-300 a day, that car's not going to go out every day. But a car that's like $45 to $55 a day, that thing would be going all the time. So that's why I always tell people, make sure you start with these economic vehicles and just make it make sense. And that's exactly what I did. I had a total of 5 economic vehicles that I bought cash. Again, not everyone will have the cash, but even if you don't, you can always talk to maybe you have a family member, somebody that may have a car that's just laying around. Take that vehicle, talk to them. Tell them, hey, this car is that's just sitting here collecting dust. What if I told you we can both make some money? Boom, you do like a 70-30 split or a 60-40, however you want to do it. Mm-hmm. You manage the vehicle, you have no overhead, and you both make some money. There's just multiple ways to get in the game, but I feel like a lot of people do get in it the wrong way and for the wrong reasons, and the wrong reasons is usually because they're just trying to drive their dream car, and that's how you end up getting stuck with a car note that you may have to come out of pocket to pay for.
Yikes. Okay, so I have these 2 questions. My first part of the question is, so if you have a car that is a luxury car and you see that it's not going out, give us some tips on what should you do if you're counting on the platform to rent it out and no one's rented it? What kind of things would you do to get that car moving?
You can always try Craigslist. Go on Craigslist and make a listing there. You can also do Facebook Marketplace as well. That's also a great way to advertise your vehicle. But really, the biggest ones that really work, go out there and shake some hands and talk to people. Hotels nearby.
Okay.
Hotels are the best ones. Go over there and talk to them. Buy some coffee for the people. I don't know, drinks, Starbucks cards. You want to talk to the people up front. Give them your business cards. If you don't have business cards, I would highly recommend to make some business cards because that's how people can reach you. Mm-hmm. Get you a business card, right, with a QR code on your business card. Okay. That anybody scans it, it takes them straight to your Turo account. That's just, because unfortunately people want to do as just, they don't want to do a lot of work.
Few steps.
Nobody wants to type websites anymore. If they can scan to get to your page, I'd recommend to get you some business cards with a QR code. That's super simple. You could do it yourself. So yes, just go ahead and make relationships. Talk to hotels, even police stations. Body shops, police stations, hotels, strip clubs. Wow. You got a luxury strip clubs.
Yeah. This is
go over there and talk to them and leave your business cards there. Yeah, you can absolutely get some customers that way. That's how I move my vehicles, and it works for me.
Okay. Does social media help any?
Yes. Facebook Marketplace. In fact, like my latest, which is the BMW i8, I posted it on Facebook Marketplace. 2 hours later, I had 300 plus messages. I had to take down the ad because people were blowing me up that much. I couldn't keep up with the demand.
Wow.
So Facebook Marketplace is an awesome place to do that. You just got to be careful because if you do not have a business page, Facebook will block your account if you post it on Facebook Marketplace without. Because if you post it on Facebook Marketplace, you're putting it on the for sale part, and if you're selling it's kind of weird. If you're selling a vehicle on Facebook Marketplace, they'll let you do it for free. But if you're providing a service, which is renting a car, they will block your account. So you got to keep that in mind. So I just recommend to make sure to have a business Facebook page. That way you can post with no issues.
Oh my gosh, you are you have loads of information. So my part 2 of my question is, where the heck do you put all of this information? Do you have a course? Where else can they find this info?
Okay, so after doing a lot of this, then getting some knowledge, and a lot of it is experience, I decided to build a course. The course is actually almost done. Like, woohoo. I want to say it should be ready way before Black Friday. Okay. But it's almost done. I've been working on the course for actually a while because I was like, you know what? All these things that I'm going through, I know I'm not going to be the first or the last person that's going to try to get into this rental car game. Everybody is trying to figure out their ways to do it. Let me put this together, and it should be able to help others because I made some mistakes even after buying courses, which they did help me skip a lot of mistakes. But no matter what you're going to learn from the courses, a lot of it will also have to do with experience. Now, the courses will save you a lot of trouble, but you will still have your own personal experience that you're going to go to. So yes, I do have a course that is being built, and it will be ready very soon. And then it'll have all the information that I know, everything that I've been through, and it'll break down pretty much everything I know.
All right. So those mistakes are in there too.
Absolutely.
I love that because a lot of people build out courses and they're just sharing the generalized information, but like, for real, what about when this, that, and that happened? Like, how did you actually deal with that? I think people really need to know that because that's what gets people stuck. They have this basic info and then they run into a wall and are not really sure how to get out of there. So I'm glad to hear that your course has lots of information like that as well. Oh, this is so good. Oh my goodness. All right. So you're on a mission. You're on a mission to do what? To take over where?
So I'm in Michigan, Metro Detroit area. My mission is to take over the whole Detroit, period. I want to be known as the person, when you come to Detroit, I want to be the person that you're going to come to if you want to get a luxury vehicle. So that's exactly what my mission is, and I'm working really hard to make that happen, and it is going to happen. So
okay, so how many vehicles do you have now? Let's fast forward just a little bit. We were just talking about up to 4. So yeah. Where are you now?
I'm at 10 now.
Ooh, wait, hold up. Okay, wait, we need to slow down. You got your first car in, was it February you said?
February, yes.
February of 2021. It's
Yes.
still 2021, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of built the fleet super fast. The cash that I had laying around definitely helped, but of course, also having the information that I have, knowing how to leverage my credit, just completed the rest. So, yeah, you gotta be able to get in the rooms to meet the right people, so they can tell you some things that you were never thinking about. So a lot of stuff that I'm able to do right now, it's because I was able to be in the right rooms, meet the right people, hear the right information, hit the ground running, execute, and watch the results.
All right, so you got into the right rooms. Are you going to have your own room?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Please
Absolutely.
tell me yes. Please tell me yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because you get into the rooms, and then depending on how far you go and how much you actually want to help others, you build your own table. So yeah, I'll be happy to see that. So I want to tell you, when we really met through the morning meetup. And
Yeah.
we met because there was another person that was actually in need. And I just want to kind of tell this story real quick. There was another guy that was on the morning meetup that was in need of the information in regards to the car rental game. And he was trying to find out, like, who can help him and how can we get together and get information. So I offered my services, which was just for me to just create a Zoom. And I had time. So I was like, I'm not in the rental game, but I got time. And I know how to do Zoom and whatever. So I set it up. And he was there. And you showed up. And you just started dropping game. Like, just naturally, and it was kind of like it was your own conference at the time. So I don't know how much public speaking you do, but you were like spitting game for like an hour straight. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy really knows what he's talking about. And I, at that moment in time, kind of forecasted, I was like, he is going very far. He is definitely going to be the man in this game. Like, I don't know if I ever told you that, but I saw that back then. And I just really, I couldn't have told you that, did I?
I appreciate that. And honestly, you told me that recently.
Oh, okay.
Recently when we talked is when you told me that. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I remember the Zoom call too. I really do. And it was just, yeah, it was, I just told the people what I knew. And I told the people what I was going through. So it's like, hey, this is what I did. Boom, boom, boom. And this is what happened. This is what you look out for. And yeah. And turn out to, and it's also amazing how much you can change other people's lives, and you never also know who's watching. Mm-hmm. And in my case, that's what kind of happened with me too, because I've always helped people. Mm-hmm. And ever since I got into this whole rental car game, just this whole entrepreneurship thing, because I was able to also learn how to build business credit, personal credit, how to set up LLCs. So I always give out information to people. And I guess while I'm doing it, I had other big hitters watching me. Mm-hmm. So now it got to a point, I got access to Pushman Mitch, Business Builder Bees, Van Taylor, all these heavy hitters. And they talk to me like we talk. Mm-hmm. And it's all because they've been watching me while I was doing what I was doing. Not trying to get attention, just trying to help people and just doing my thing. And I guess they've seen the same thing you saw. And then, yeah, they reached out to me. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, so just stay on that journey, because I love your authenticity, your sincerity, and just how you're just sharing what you know, as you call it. But it definitely is teaching, and people are watching, and there are a lot of people that need exactly what you're doing. So I just pray that you have nothing that gets in your way, and if anything does arise, that you just keep doing it the way that you did it before. You just dug in and you kept going.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much.
yeah, man. So you said you help people to build, to understand what it looks like to build their businesses. I think that that's really great information. Where do you share this information on a regular basis?
Okay, so I share those information on my IG. I go on live a lot. And whenever I do go on live, I actually have a lot of great friends that get on the live with me, and we just spit out a bunch of information. Sometimes we kind of ask each other questions, or sometimes we just ask the people in the comments to just have, if they have any questions, to just drop the questions and we'll answer them. But yeah, we give out a bunch of information. In fact, I save every single live on my IG. If anybody goes on my IG right now, I have enough information on there that can tell you how to set up your LLC, that can tell you how to set up how to do the whole rental car game from start to finish, literally. You may have to go through some lives, but the information is there.
But they say, the thing is to give it all away. And if a person wants to spend that much time with you and binge watch your stuff, then let them do it, and they know. So at that point, they know exactly who has the information. And I think what most entrepreneurs should know who do what you do, because I do the same thing. So we're on the same page with that. I don't mind giving out info. What most entrepreneurs should understand is that when you do that, you're setting yourself up as the authority. Whether that was the plan or not, that's what you're doing. And people get to know that you are the man with the information. So when something comes up, like if there's a speaking engagement or if someone needs you to be their private coach, whatever have you, they know who to reach. So there's more things that come from that, even when you're not planning for it. Now, so you have your course. Will you be doing any actual coaching? What do you see with that? Will you be doing one-on-ones, or will you jump into your course or have like some type of live content that connects to them learning the course? What's next?
So with my course, what I plan on doing is I want to have like weekly calls, for like the first 4 weeks.
Okay.
First 4 weeks we'll get on a Zoom call every week. We'll pick one day out of the week where everybody will get on and we'll just talk. And I feel like it's super important, because if we get on Zoom calls, it's not like I'm getting on here to teach you guys. I'm getting on here to hear your experiences based on what you've done so far.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if we have a community, we can all help each other out. Because I've gone through the same thing with mentorships, being on those coaching calls and stuff like that. It's really important to have those coaching calls, because now you've got everybody in there and we all talk about our experiences. We're all talking about what happened, because we each will have different experiences no matter what.
Exactly.
But guess what? Your experience can actually save somebody else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Something that you might have went through could save the next person. So I will absolutely do like about 4 weeks, coaching calls every week. We will all get on there. Like I said, I'm not necessarily on there to teach, but I'm on there so we can all talk about our experience. And I'll also bring up my experiences, whatever I went through the week that I might have dealt with that was a nightmare or a good thing. Let's talk about it.
Well, speaking of that, so I'm glad that you are interested in having a community to be supportive to everyone else and let them be supportive of each other. And maybe some of them will get to know each other and be able to hold each other's hands. But where I want to take you right now is to a place where every person I interview, I like to have you to tell us a bedtime story. Now, the bedtime story is kind of like the nightmare in a way. What is it tell us a story about something that happened in your business that you never want to happen again. So it was either something that really just happened that was bad, like maybe some type of experience, or something that you did, wherever you want to take us, but something nobody ever should want to go through.
I'll tell you guys a really good one. Really good one. This is going to be a learning experience for people that are listening as well. So, oh my God. All right. So when I was purchasing the rest of my vehicles, I went to the dealership, built a relationship with them, and purchased 3 vehicles one day. After I got the vehicles, everything was great. Again, I'm a mechanic, so I checked out the vehicle and everything checked out pretty well. But I still put pretty much the best warranty you can get. Mm-hmm. That way, if anything happens, we're good. So after I took the vehicles home, everything was good until a week later, one of them started acting up. So the first thing that happened, me being a car person, I'm like, okay, I can either take it to the dealership, but I'm not. Since I'm a mechanic myself, I'm going to diagnose it myself. And if it's a quick fix, I'll just fix it, because I need the car to be back on the road because it had other bookings. Mm-hmm. So I diagnosed the vehicle, found out what the issue was. But, with cars, anybody that works on cars will know that sometimes one problem could give you 2 different issues, or sometimes more. But usually you want to go for the simple stuff first, hoping that it'll fix it. So I did that. It didn't fix it. It's like, oh gosh, so now I have to really take it to the dealership because I have warranty. So long story short, took the car to, called a couple of dealerships. Nobody could really get me in. Then I had to take it to an independent shop that would take the warranty that I have. After they diagnosed the car for like 4 days, which is normally not normal for that place because that place, they're super good. So I was surprised I didn't get an answer the same day. So that's when it led me to realize that, oh man, whatever this is, it's obviously a big problem, you know. So long story short, they call me and tell me that they found out what the issue was. And that issue, it's there's a service bulletin out by Kia saying that this issue is a common issue. So it will be covered under the powertrain warranty, right? Now, this is a tip for people to know. If you go to a dealership, you buy a used vehicle, which means you're not the original owner, and the car is supposed to be still under powertrain warranty, you don't have no warranty.
What?
Let me repeat that.
What?
Let me repeat that. If you go buy a vehicle at a dealership, let's say the vehicle has 30,000 miles, right? And the factory warranty expires at 70 or 100,000, especially for Kias, it expires at 100,000 miles. If you are not the original owner, the 100,000 miles does not apply to you unless you buy extended warranty. But if you do not, that 100,000 miles does not apply to you. I know that because I was a service advisor. I told them, no, you can't do that. So when it happened to me, I knew what the answer was, but I was like, but I also know from being a service advisor, if you catch a cool one, because I've done that where I kind of let people slide, because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's sitting behind the computer. So I have the power to say yes or no. Now, it all depends on who you catch. If you catch somebody that's like, no, you can't, you're screwed.
Okay.
So I called a few dealerships. And it's funny because when I was calling the dealerships, I would still tell them I'm a service advisor because we will have kind of that connection. And they would still be like, dude, you should already know. I'm like, yeah, but I'm just asking, you know? So they told me no. I'm like, okay. So I called my the warranty company that sold me the extra warranty or whatever on the vehicle. They would not cover that issue because it is supposed to be under powertrain warranty. Do you hear that? So now I'm stuck in the middle. I have a car that I bought. Warranty didn't expire, but since I'm not the original owner, the warranty doesn't apply to me. And the warranty that I purchased said they will not fix that issue because the factory warranty is supposed to cover that. So nobody's helping me at this point.
Dang, could you go back to the original owner? Jeez.
You know, so I had to call the dealership and tell them what's going on. They're like, oh man, you know what, just bring the car back to us. We will figure it out. But they kind of, disappeared on me a little bit. I already knew that something like that was probably going to happen because at the end of the day, they're looking at you like, well, you already signed the papers.
Right. We're done with you.
Yeah. So long story short, they didn't fix my issue, but I like to say God came through literally because now at this point, I had this car for like a whole month. It's not running. I just got it sitting, parked at my house while I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. And first payment came. I couldn't make the payment. I thought that was weird. Like, what's up with that? I tried to make a payment. I called the bank. They could not find nothing that I own this car. I'm looking like, that is super weird. So I called the dealership, and they're like, oh, don't worry about it. There was a mistake in the paperwork, but we got you. Okay. A week go by. Now the bank is calling me to verify if it was me who purchased the vehicle. I said, yeah. They're like, well, there was a mistake on the paperwork, so we rejected the loan. I'm like, what do you mean rejected? He's like, we rejected the loan. So
and
that
they let you out of there with a car?
Yes. I'm like, so you mean to tell me I've had this car for 5 weeks and there's no loan on it? He's like, no, that's why we're calling you. We're trying to get you to give us authorization to run your credit so we can get you approved for the car. I say, you want to get me approved for a car that's not running? No, absolutely not.
So wait, does that mean that the original owner still is the owner?
The dealership is the owner. So now they got to take their car back. Yes.
Oh,
I know it sounds funny, but literally that's what happened to me. Literally. While they were playing with me, not trying to figure out what they would do for me or whatnot. Man.
So this nightmare turns out not to be a nightmare. So
Nope.
It turned into a dream.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Oh. They ended up getting their car back. I didn't owe nothing at all.
Wait. How much money did you make? Because the car was working at one point.
He made me about $1,500.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Please tell this
Yes,
story more often. My goodness. Wow. But who would have
it's
known?
insane. It's
Yeah.
insane, and it's I thought that was just something that happened to me only. So while it was happening to me and I was dealing with it, a friend of mine called me. Well, a friend of mine called me and he was going through the same thing, but he didn't know what to do. So when he called me, since I went through it, I knew how to fight stuff like that. Because what happens is once the dealership, because once the bank called me and I told them I didn't want the car anymore, not to run my credit, they were like, okay, we're going to close this file. It's done. We're not running your credit because you told us no. I said, okay, cool. So then they had to reach out to the dealership and tell them, hey, he doesn't want the car no more. So y'all need to figure it out with him. Then what the dealership tried to do is they started running my credit with other banks. So thank God I got experience, so I had a notification. So as I got there, I was like, whoa, they're trying to run my credit. So I went to my apps and locked all my bureaus. Okay. That's what I did. Okay. So when my friend called me and he was going through the same thing, I said, this is what you do. Since the bank called you, how long did they call you? He said like 2 minutes ago. I said, okay, as soon as we hang up the phone, lock all your bureaus right away.
So, right away. Wait, when you lock them, when you lock them, they can't pull your credit.
Nope.
Which means that they can't get any type of authorization for a loan.
Nope. Not at all.
And you learned that in the credit course?
No, it was just one of those I kind of
you know it. Okay,
like,
all right.
I understood how credit worked. So it was just like, I know if I lock my credit, nobody can do that. But yeah, obviously I learned that on the course. But at the very moment, it was just one of those, oh, dude, they're trying to run my credit. I need to lock them. So I did that and
Wow.
So,
wow. Yeah. This has been really good. Oh my gosh. I've really enjoyed this interview. So I guess getting ready to close out here so that the listeners will have more to come back for at another time. My goodness.
Absolutely.
Tell us, tell me first, something that you want people to know before you leave this interview. So you have your course. Is there anything else that you want them to know about you, to connect with you on? Is there anything else to offer? It's just anything. I just want to give you an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say.
Absolutely. I also do consultation calls, so I can get on the phone with people and just basically they can tell me whatever it is that they need to know, whether it is setting up an LLC, whether it is building business credit, or whether it is just doing the rental car stuff. So I do offer that as well. So It's not just going to be the course. Yeah, I will do phone calls, the consultations and all that stuff. So yes.
Like a strategy type session?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So the course is coming. They can get a strategy call with you, and you can be found on social media giving out the game at random times, I guess. There's no real schedule, right? Just whenever you...
Yeah, it's usually late at night.
Okay,
we be up late.
Yes, I know. I've been on there. So tell us your social media handle, and then I have one more question for you.
Yep. It is CEO Moe _ No Chill. No Chill, NOCHILL. Oh, that was my license plate.
Where No Chill come from?
Okay. So, my license plate says No Chill. Wow. So, the story behind No Chill is because, while me and my ex-wife were together, the No Chill story makes sense for people that know me.
Okay.
It makes sense because I was always the guy that nobody ever knew what vehicle I'm going to pull up in. So being a car guy, here in Michigan, we only have one season for the cars, for the whole, doing the car stuff, which is pretty much spring and summertime, really. But mainly it's summertime. So in 1 year, sometimes I'll pull up in 3 different cars. And I've always had the cleanest, dopest, and one of the fastest cars.
Okay.
So, and again, I feel like the No Chill name just fit me because it's like I have no chill. You never know what I'm gonna do, and I pull up in different cars all the time, and I have a lot of cars. So it was just kind of one of those. So me and my ex-wife kind of came up with the name. I put it on my license plate. I've had that license plate for 5 years now, and it just kind of stuck. But with my Instagram saying CEO Moe No Chill, now that I can't take credit for it because my older brother is the one that came up with it. He was like, this sounds just sketchy. He's like, the CEO, you're going to be a CEO.
Yeah.
Moe, obviously, everybody calls you Moe. No Chill, your license plate, and it just makes sense. That's just you. I was like, I like that. He's like, I do too. And then boom, I just got away with it.
Nice. Your brother has played such a tremendous role and everything thus far. So like I said, kudos to him. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Yes. Everybody needs a brother like that. Seriously.
yeah, exactly. How many siblings do you have?
I came from a big family. So there's quite a few of us.
All right, okay. He can't even count anymore. Okay, I understand. All right. You did tell us what descent you were from, so I already know about that. My
There
goodness.
you go.
Yes, I know. Okay, so final question today before we go is what would you like to tell other entrepreneurs that they definitely need to know to just be in business? Any type of business tip that you would like to give that you think they should know about?
Okay. Well, before I say the business tip, I want to talk about the mindset. The
Okay.
mindset is very, very, very important. If you're going to do this whole entrepreneurship thing, you got to believe you can do it, and you got to know you can do it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have those days that are going to be super hard, super difficult, where you're going to question yourself. You're going to even ask yourself, what are you doing? I still have those days, even with all the cars that I got, still making me money. I'll have days where I'm like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? But I'll quickly snap out of it. Because at the end of the day, we're all human. And if you really just kind of go back and just think about how we were all brought up, we were technically just taught to go be employees. So it's going to be hard to fight that battle of just trying to get out of it, even while being an entrepreneur. So you just got to always make sure you tell yourself that you can do it. It's going to be hard, but you can do it. Now, a business tip, treat your business like a business. That's really it. Because at the end of the day, most of us, a lot of people try not to treat their business like a real business. And what I mean by that is, especially like in the rental car, it's really any business, but like in the rental car business, if your friend comes to get a vehicle from you, naturally, you're going to be like, let me give you a discount. Let me do this. Let me do that. Nah, you got to cut that out. You can't do that. Because at the end of the day, if you don't treat your business like a real business, why would your customers treat you like a real business owner? So just treat your business like a real business, meaning if you got, procedures and stuff, follow it no matter who it is.
Yes.
You do it that way, you should have success, and nobody will ever question what you do. Some may feel like you're an a-hole for it, but at the end of the day, I'm running my business the right way, so you can take it or leave it. And at the end of the day, the people that are giving you trouble, those are not the customers you want to have anyways. So yeah, just treat it like a real business.
All right. CEO Moe, no chill. Whew, this was a good interview. So I am so grateful to have the honor of interviewing you. I know you're going so much further. I don't even know how many cars you're going to end up with. I don't know how many more businesses you're going to build. I mean, like, I don't know why I see like 40 cars. I don't know if you said that to me, but did you say that to me? Where did I get that from?
I don't know. But I want to have a lot of cars. I will have a lot of cars, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes these things come to me, but I see like at least 40 cars and just,
Let's go.
Oh my gosh. So we will all be staying tuned to what you're doing, and we're gonna be seeing you. So everyone that's watching and listening, we thank you all for being here with us today. Share this out because someone needs to hear this information and or watch it. You guys are here tuning into Entrepreneur Speak with Tomeka James. And I want to say once again, thank you to CEO Moe No Chill for being here with us today. So thank you and goodbye, everyone.
Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Underground Biz Group.